Once upon a time, in a small village nestled among the rolling hills of Nigeria, there lived a girl named Adanna. She had skin as dark as midnight and eyes that sparkled like the stars in the night sky. Adanna was kind-hearted and helpful to everyone in the village. She spent her days fetching water from the stream, tending to the crops in the fields, and caring for the elderly. But despite her beauty and her good deeds, none of the young men in the village wanted to marry her. They whispered behind her back and made excuses when she asked for their hand in marriage. Adanna's heart ached with sadness. She couldn't understand why no one wanted her as their bride. Was she not pretty enough? Was she not worthy of love? One day, Adanna decided to seek advice from the village elder, Ngozi. Ngozi was known for her wisdom and her knowledge of ancient traditions. "Tell me, Ngozi," Adanna said with tears in her eyes. "Why does no one want to marry me?" Ngozi listened carefully to Adanna's woes and then smiled kindly. "My dear child," she said, "the problem is not with you, but with those who cannot see your worth." Adanna felt a glimmer of hope in her heart. Perhaps there was still a chance for her to find love and happiness. But little did she know, her journey was just beginning. The next morning, as the golden rays of the sun painted the sky, Adanna decided to set out on a quest to prove her worth and find true love. With determination in her heart, she packed a small bag with provisions and bid farewell to her village. Her first stop was the neighboring village of Umedim, where she heard tales of a handsome prince who was seeking a bride. Adanna hoped that perhaps he would see past her outer appearance and recognize the beauty within her. As she walked along the dusty road, Adanna encountered various challenges, from crossing rivers to climbing steep hills. But she pressed on, her spirit undaunted by the obstacles in her path. Finally, after many days of travel, Adanna arrived at the palace of Prince Chukwudi. The palace was grand and imposing, with towering walls and gleaming towers. With a deep breath, Adanna approached the palace gates and requested an audience with the prince. To her surprise, she was granted entry and led into the throne room, where Prince Chukwudi sat upon his throne, surrounded by his advisors. Adanna stood before the prince, her heart pounding in her chest. She spoke of her journey and her desire to find love, hoping against hope that he would see something special in her. But Prince Chukwudi only laughed and shook his head. "You," he scoffed. "I would never marry a girl from a small village like yours. You are not worthy of a prince's love." Adanna's heart sank as she realized that even here, in the palace of a prince, she was still unwanted. But she refused to give up hope. She knew that somewhere out there, someone would see her for who she truly was. And so, with tears in her eyes but determination in her heart, Adanna continued her quest, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As Adanna journeyed on, she encountered many more villages and towns, each with its own customs and traditions. Along the way, she met kind-hearted strangers who offered her food and shelter, restoring her faith in humanity. But despite the hospitality she received, Adanna's heart still longed for love and acceptance. She wondered if she would ever find someone who would cherish her for who she was, beyond the superficial judgments of others. One day, as she rested beneath the shade of a baobab tree, Adanna heard whispers of a mystical village hidden deep within the forest. It was said that only those with pure hearts could find their way to this enchanted place, where true love awaited those who sought it. Filled with hope once more, Adanna rose to her feet and embarked on a new journey into the heart of the forest. The trees whispered secrets to her as she walked, guiding her towards her destiny. After days of wandering through the dense foliage, Adanna stumbled upon a clearing bathed in golden sunlight. In the center of the clearing stood a village unlike any she had ever seen before, with colorful huts and laughing children playing in the streets. As she entered the village, Adanna felt a sense of peace wash over her. Here, among the gentle people of the forest, she knew she had finally found a place where she belonged. But little did she know, Her true love was waiting just around the corner, ready to sweep her off her feet and into a future filled with happiness and joy. As Adanna explored the enchanted village, she was greeted with warmth and kindness by its inhabitants. They welcomed her with open arms, inviting her to join in their dances and share in their feasts. Among the villagers was a young man named Kwame, whose smile lit up the entire village whenever he entered. Kwame was kind-hearted and gentle, with eyes that sparkled like the stars in the night sky. From the moment their eyes met, Adanna felt a connection with Kwame that she had never felt before. They spent hours talking and laughing together, their souls intertwining like vines in the forest. As days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months, Adanna and Kwame grew closer and closer. They shared their hopes and dreams, their fears and insecurities, knowing that they had found in each other a love that was pure and true. And so, on a beautiful spring morning beneath the canopy of the baobab tree where they had first met, Adanna and Kwame exchanged vows of love and devotion. The entire village rejoiced as they celebrated the union of two souls destined to be together. From that day forward, Adanna was no longer the unwanted bride. She was a beloved wife, a cherished daughter, and a radiant beacon of hope for all who believed in the power of love. And as she looked into the eyes of her beloved Kwame, she knew that her journey had led her exactly where she was meant to be, in the arms of the one who truly saw her for the beautiful soul that she was. Adanna's story teaches us that society's standards of beauty and desirability are often shallow and misguided. It reminds us that we should not judge others based solely on superficial traits, but rather look beyond the surface to discover the richness of their inner selves. Furthermore, Adanna's resilience in the face of adversity demonstrates the importance of believing in oneself and never giving up hope, even when faced with rejection and disappointment. Her unwavering determination to find love ultimately leads her to a place of genuine happiness and fulfillment. Ultimately, the unwanted bride imparts the timeless moral lesson that true love transcends societal expectations and flourishes in the presence of authenticity, kindness, and mutual respect. It encourages us to embrace our uniqueness, celebrate our differences, and cherish the connections we form with others based on genuine affection and understanding.